Hello, and welcome to The Modern Lady, where you'll learn how to elevate your life with elegance. I'm Deborah. If you're new to my channel, please hit that red subscribe button so that you can get an update when I've got a new video to share. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you, ladies, so much for your continued love and support for my channel. I appreciate and adore you all. Today's video is an interview in a series called Pearls of Wisdom, where I shine a spotlight on elegant women that believe in the power of style and sophistication. Today's guest is Andreea Stefanescu, a founder at the School of Manners. I connected with her on social media, and I'm so excited that she is here today. Andreea, welcome to The Modern Lady.
Thank you, Deborah. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, the pleasure is mine as well. Can you please share with us the story behind the School of Manners and how everything came to be what it is today?
Certainly. So I think everything in life sort of takes you to where you're supposed to be in a way. So more than 10 years back, I joined aviation. And I started working for Emirates Airlines, and I did that after a bit. So I sort of never imagined I will get into this job. I started to fall in love with the people more than the places I've seen. I left Emirates, and then I joined private aviation, and I started working with the royal families and heads of state around the region for more than 6 years. And I guess I got to see a different type of people. And I had the honor to be trained under the former steward of the Queen in England. And working with royalties, of course, has given me the opportunity to learn a lot about protocol and body language and human behavior and whatever is behind all that success that you see on TV most of the time. So, of course, I wanted to seek my own certifications. At the personal level, in a way, I really wanted to make sure that all this knowledge reaches everybody, that it makes such a big difference in people's lives, because it made in mine. Most people that know me when I was a child, they're quite shocked at the transformation, because I was a very, very shy child. I would never really go out in the breaks in the class. So it always comes from a place of personal insecurity in a way, and then you see how much difference it makes in your life and your presence and in your career. And I think so many people need it. So that's how the School of Manners started. And it slowly grew just because I wanted to let people know that the idea of etiquette is definitely not outdated. It's definitely not international. So your way of doing things is not the only way of doing things, nor the right way of doing things.
I love that. And I think that's so important, that etiquette is for everyone. That's something that a lot of people commonly misunderstand. They think that etiquette is only for dignitaries or people in politics or royalty or high society, but etiquette really does give you that sense of confidence for anyone and everyone that's interested in learning about it. So, Andreea, can you share with us, your specialty is international etiquette. What can a person do before traveling abroad to another country to make sure that they're following proper etiquette wherever they may be going?
Do their homework. So I really think it's very, very important for you to do a little bit of research. In what is the biggest faux pas? What are topics of conversation that you should not really address, as to not offend, whether it is from history or politics? And I really suggest that people never go into the sensitive topics, regardless of the culture. So money, politics, health, and and things are quite sensitive to other people. So if you'd go to Nigeria, for example, you would not necessarily ask, even if it's a woman is visibly pregnant, you would not ask her about the child, because to them it's giving the child a bad eye. So they wouldn't stop talking to you just because they think it's bad luck for the child. So there are small cultural differences that maybe we don't expect. So read a bit on, if not in some books and you don't want to invest in that, just do a bit of research online. There's a lot of information. Ask people that are from the country. Just show a bit of interest. And I think just starting with that interest in mind shows respect towards the other people. Another suggestion is please just learn hello, thank you in that country's language, because it makes a huge impact when you address people in their own language. It just builds an immediate rapport with the person in front.
Yes, I love that. I think building rapport is so important. And it's also about that level of respect. I think that if we are just showing up in a foreign country and we don't know how to conduct ourselves properly, even without trying, sometimes we can come across as disrespectful, and that's never the intention. And so, to make sure that everyone has a good experience when you're traveling, the people that you're meeting, it's always in your best interest to just do that research first. I love that tip, so that you're prepared and be able to say hello and thank you. And that will definitely help you to have a very positive and successful trip abroad. I love that. So on your website, you talk about etiquette not being about rules. You say that etiquette is not just about being polite and using the right fork. Etiquette's not snobbish. So can you share with us what is etiquette all about?
So yes, my main motto is not about rules, it's about relationships. So a lot of people, and rightfully so, in history, if you think about it, etiquette was meant to be this type of rules at one point that separated the upper classes from the lower classes. So when the working class appeared, um, and of course this discrepancy between classes didn't become as pregnant as before. um, People started remembering the idea of etiquette as the one thing that made the upper classes, or the born with the silver spoon people, look down on the people that were not necessarily born rich. Now, the idea is that etiquette was there to ensure that we have better relationships with one another, that it eases all the challenges of life. So etiquette evolved with us. So sorry. So in a way, I know that people assume etiquette is something outdated from grandma's shelf that is not relevant to our lives today. But etiquette, like I said, has evolved with our life and is there to assist us. As long as you acknowledge the fact that you don't learn etiquette to feel more luxurious or to judge other people on how they behave, but you learn etiquette to make sure that everybody around you feels at ease. So you actually learn etiquette for others. You don't learn etiquette to make yourself look a bit more posh and higher than other people. So as long as it comes from the right place, then it's definitely not snobbery. And that's what we're looking for. And yes, etiquette has a very bad brand image in a way, which I'm fighting a lot against. You can't really truly be free and confident and say that, oh, I'm a rule breaker, if you've never known the rules. So that helps a lot with people's confidence and with allowing everyone to feel at ease in their presence. And I love this story. I just want to share it with everybody. That to me defines what etiquette is. So at one point, the Queen Mom had invited this Asian diplomats around the table. And at one point, the finger bowl arrived at the table. And obviously, the Asian diplomats have only received in this type of bowls the soup. So they assumed it's soup. So they took the bowl and they started drinking from it. Now, of course, the British diplomats started giggling on the fact that this Asian diplomats didn't know that that was the finger bowl meant for you to clean your fingers before finger food. So the Queen Mom took the bowl herself and drank from it. And this is what etiquette is. It's knowing the rules, knowing what that is for, but ultimately putting the guests that you have around the table out of respect at ease. But she had to know the rules in order for her to break them out of respect for the people there. So I just think that that defines what to me etiquette is meant to be for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. It's about making sure others are comfortable, they're at ease, and really having relationships as a top priority, because at the end of the day, that's what keeps the world spinning. That's what makes everything that we do worthwhile, is the people around us and the people in our lives. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that story. So I know in your YouTube channel that you've got a video and you talk about who pays on the first date. So can you share with us the secret on how to pay properly on the first date and who's supposed to pay?
The eternal debate, isn't it, of our days. So I'll make it very easy for everybody. The person that pays is the person that invited, regardless of the gender. I would say that in the majority of the cases, still is the gentleman that invites a lady for a first date. Therefore, is the gentleman that is going to pay. Now, before everybody comments on, oh, but now is more modern life. Yes, by all means, it is a modern life. But the idea is that if I'm inviting you somewhere, that means that you are giving me your time. You haven't been planning to go to the opera or to go to this expensive, luxurious restaurant that I plan to take you to. So obviously, out of respect for you and the fact that I invited you there, I will take care of how you're going to get to the location. I will take care of the meal or whatever I'm planning to spend on this experience that I want to share with you. And I will basically take care of everything. Now, one really special tip for everybody, because even if you have this amazing date, and we've all been there, where we have beautiful conversation, everything flows so smoothly, and you're so enamored with the whole experience. And then the bill arrives. And of course, we have to sort of, what do we do as women? Do we pretend like we want to split the bill? There's always this situation where you kind of don't want to pay, but you want to pay, but you don't know if you should split. So money in general is not the best topic to end a beautiful first date on. So this is my tip. Before you know that the night is sort of coming to an end, either excuse yourself. So on your way to the restroom, you don't need to say that you're going to the restroom, by the way, for all adults out there. Unless you need assistance, you can just excuse yourself. We'll know that you come back to the table. So you just excuse yourself. On the way to the restroom, you leave your card and your details to the maitre d' or to the waiter that was there for your table, and ask them to make sure that the bill is covered. By the time you return, they will just hand you the receipt, and that's it. You can leave an extra tip and then just return to the table. So this can also be done in business environments. It's a very nice touch, where you actually leave all your credit card details, or you make sure that you mention to the maitre d' that you'll be paying separately. So don't let that bill arrive to the table, because it's never the best end to a beautiful first date.
I love that. And that tip is something that I definitely agree with, especially in a business situation or environment. When you're making the invitation, regardless of gender, you are expected to make the payment and pick up the tab. And so that's definitely for dates and also meetings and other luncheons as well. So I think that's something really important for women to keep in mind in this modern society that we live in today.
It is. Now, Deborah, I just want to add something to this rule, because the one thing that remains is consideration. So, ladies, yes, if a gentleman invites you for dinner, he will be the one to decide on the type of restaurant he's taking you at. And if he decides and he can only afford to take you to McDonald's, then you'll go to McDonald's. Don't, at the moment that me as a woman decides that, oh no, but I want to go to this super expensive sushi place, despite him asking me to go to a less expensive restaurant, then you will have to at least offer to pay the difference. In the sense that if somebody has prepared, the same like for us. So as I was saying, if a person has invited you, they can't really expect you to afford, to be able to reach the restaurant. Maybe the restaurant is at the other end of town, so you can't just invite somebody and then not even ask them how are they going to get there, or offer to pick them up, or offer to send an Uber. So don't impose on people this type of expenses in their life if you invited them. But at the same time, if you as the guest expect something more, then you have to at least offer to pay the difference for whatever you're expecting. And of course, on the menu, when you open the menu, don't just look at the most expensive dishes, and if he orders only the soup, you will go for a 3 main course plus the beautiful champagne, the most expensive on the menu, because again, that would definitely be rude. So be considerate when you're on that date. And when the gentleman covers the bill or invites you out, be grateful and say thank you and smile, because even if you liked or didn't like the first date, or you see or you don't see a future, because as women we ask all these questions and expectations from the first time, be graceful till the end of the night and be grateful for the experience. So,
the consideration is so important, and those are some really great pieces of advice, because if you are enjoying a night at a restaurant or a night and you are ordering the most expensive thing, you are definitely taking advantage of your date, and that's disrespectful. So consideration is always really important of your date when you're in that situation and enjoying the experience. So I love that. So, Andreea, you talk about how to politely say no. Why do you think that it can be so difficult for women to say no in a polite way?
Because we tend to, and this is something that we tend to assimilate for some reason across genders also, that being polite is being fake. Because and at the same time, I think it's human nature, where neurologically, regardless if people start to say, oh, but I don't care what people think of me. Yes, you do. And we are all neurologically programmed to care about what others think of us. The way we have survived as a species is because obviously we had to stick to groups. We had to be accepted within the group to survive. So we are almost addicted to the idea of being accepted in a group, of being liked. So for us, whenever we have to say no to somebody, it's not the most natural thing, because it implies that maybe the person is not going to like us. We have to be very confident. It's a very uncomfortable situation that very few people have learned how to deal with. So I just want to highlight this idea that being polite is definitely not being fake. On the contrary, etiquette has the base of honesty, consideration, and respect, like Emily Post is always saying and has been saying for 100 years now. And that way, I hope people always remember this. So yes, it is very difficult to say no if you don't know the sequence with which you should say it. So usually people find it very difficult to say no, also because they don't really have a lot of plans or strict values in their life. So for example, if the doctor put me on a diet and I know that I can't really go outside my diet, then for me it's gonna be easier to say no if you invite me to McDonald's, because the doctor has told me that I have to take care of my diet. So I will always find a nice way to say no to you, as long as my values are very strong, or I have a set goal that I need to achieve, which in this case would be my health. If, for example, I'm very dedicated to getting into university, and all my friends are saying, oh no, but let's go party this weekend, but I have an exam and I really want to pass, and my value is that this is where I want to reach with my life at this point, then I will say, you know what, guys, thank you for inviting me, but I can't come because I really want to pass this exam tomorrow. Which again is neither rude nor inconsiderate to anybody, but you, as long as you know where you want to reach, and you have very fixed goals and purpose in life, and you live life with a purpose, which I think is so important for everybody, it becomes so much easier to say yes and no to different things. The reason why no becomes almost annoying to us is when we actually don't want to do something, but also we're not really sure on what we want to do. So we become almost frustrated with people that keep asking us out, and we blame them for the fact that our life fails. So then it's our own frustration that comes out. As long as you can say, start always with the gratitude. So I call this like the gratitude bun. In like, if you think of a hamburger, where in the middle it's the no. So you start with the positive, you start with gratitude, then you say, thank you for inviting me to this place, or thank you for asking for my number, is quite flattering, to be honest. Or if somebody comes and asks you out, or you say, you know what, thank you, I've actually had a great time chatting to you as well. I don't really feel comfortable giving my number out. And then if you want, finish with the positive too, especially if you want this relationship to continue in any way. If not, then just saying no is perfect. But if you want this relationship to continue, just give an alternative and say, but you know what, I'll probably catch you around work sometimes, or you can actually follow me on Facebook, and we'll keep in touch this way. This will make me feel much more comfortable. So give a positive alternative if you can't do it on that day. The same with your friends. Just say, thank you guys for inviting me, because ultimately they want to spend time with you. So think of the positive in life and say, thank you for asking me out. I can't do it this weekend, but maybe next weekend would work, or after my exams will work. So this makes it so much easier for everybody to say no.
That's perfect. And that's the power of politeness. You're wrapping up the present like in a really pretty package. And so you're able to say no, but giving that gratitude, giving that compliment, and then also ending on a positive note helps to make it received in a much more appealing way. So I love that. So Andreea, can you share with us, who is your favorite elegant role model?
Oh, that's a very good question. Uh, well, I've had, of course, Grace Kelly, who's the Princess of Monaco. I've always felt like she's such a graceful presence in history. I think Michelle Obama has definitely redefined what a lot of people should understand through femininity and feminine presence. Because the whole feminist movement has really moved into a very dark place, especially the modernly understood feminist movement. So I really feel that Michelle Obama has redefined that. And while a woman can be so strong while remaining feminine and allowing the men next to her to be powerful, even if she is the same as powerful, but that is the true confidence of a woman, to know her strengths, to not be afraid to show her strengths, but in the same time to allow the men to be a man. And it's so much more powerful than anything anybody has seen. And in a way, yes, I do admire that sense of power in femininity and elegance. So yes.
I love that. And I think that's one thing that is a little bit frustrating, for those of us in this world of etiquette and elegance, is that the society we live in really looks down upon femininity as if it's a weakness or it's some sort of flaw. It makes you like a doormat. But there is so much power in femininity, and really being able to have that presence, have that strength, have that grace. It truly is really incredible to see every day. And so I would agree with you that Grace Kelly and First Lady Michelle Obama are amazing, elegant role models, and they're a few of my favorites as well. Well, last question for you, Andreea. What is one piece of advice, or as I call it, a pearl of wisdom that you live by every single day?
Oh God, I always finish my all my blog posts and everything with "always be kind," and I hope people will always remember that. If anything else, from everything I say and from all my work, because I do it with a lot of passion. And I think if everybody takes that bit um, of always being kind and always being considerate in how they say things, because we tend to work a lot on impulse. So if somebody is doing something on TV, or we are so influenced by media, and the reality is that you should always ask yourself if this is really necessary for me to say, if this is really kind for me to say. And we find ourselves so too often, I would say, in this society, judging others. And even if somebody asks you about Trump, about the Kardashians, about, and I say this because there's so much negativity around this subject. Ultimately, we personally haven't met these people, so this is an advice that I actually give everybody nowadays, and maybe I've learned it in aviation to never really express such negative um, opinions in life, because this is what they are. They're just opinions, and you haven't really personally met the person. And let's face it, sometimes we spend a lifetime with the people next to us, and we barely barely get to know who they really are and what they're really going through. So be a bit kinder. It's really not costing anything, and it actually every word that you say of judgment, of criticism, of gossip, it actually simply pollutes your own mind, and it adds nothing to your life. So yeah, I guess just always try to be a little bit kinder than you were yesterday. It will impact a lot your life, and ultimately this kindness and etiquette and good manners, it's nothing else but a good hygiene for your own brain. So I hope you all get that in your lives.
Always be kind. And that's really the heart of what etiquette is all about. Etiquette, elegance, this lifestyle. And that's what's so important is even when it's a difficult situation, when it's a conflict or a challenge, being able to carry yourself with kindness, courtesy, and grace will certainly help you to carry yourself with that sense of elegance, and you will never be caught off guard, or you'll never in a sense fail to wear your crown, because you will always have that elegance with you. So the kindness is the heart and soul of what an elegant life is all about. Well, Andreea, thank you so much for being on The Modern Lady. It was such a pleasure to
Thank you.
interview you.
It's been my pleasure to be interviewed by you, Deborah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Where are the best places that people can find you online?
Well, they can find me on Instagram under the School of Manners, on YouTube as well under the same name, and I have a website, www.theschoolofmanners.com, where I write sometimes a few blogs, and I give some advice on international etiquette and different cultural differences. So sometimes it's quite fun, and you can find there some quizzes that some people love. So yes, I would love to hear from everyone.
Perfect. Thank you. And ladies, I do have all of the links where you can find Andreea in the description below. So definitely check out her website and her YouTube channel and follow all of the amazing advice and wisdom that she shares online. Ladies, I would love to know from you. Share in a comment below, when is the last time that you politely said no? Because there's so much power in being able to stand your ground when you need to and do it in a graceful way. I know sometimes it's difficult, but I know that you ladies are following the advice and the wisdom that you're learning. And so I'd love to know from you in a comment below, when is the last time you politely said no? Well, ladies, thank you so much for watching this interview. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up to share some YouTube love. I would appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you again in another interview. Bye for now.
Bye.